Welcome to another episode of Pels and the Blender. It's your boy Davis. I got my dog with me today, man. The Prophet, you heard me? Cheddar Chaz in the building. My dog in the building, you heard me? Listen, bro, it's been a while since you've been back on this channel. I know we do a lot of shows on yours. First off, let me give you a proper welcome. Hey, for sure. Appreciate you coming through, dog, as always. How you feeling today?
I'm good, brother. Appreciate you for having me, man. I appreciate it. Yes, indeed. You make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe on your way in.
Absolutely. Make sure y'all do that, man. We've been working on you've been working individually. I don't know if you haven't, you hear me, as people get ready to start coming in, but if you haven't, make sure you always go check out the interview that Chaz did with Chris Crisp and all of the other content we got on this channel at Cheddar Chaz. You heard me, CHEDDACHAZ, man. My dog been working hard. You heard me always.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed.
What's good,
likewise,
Jade,
brother.
man? What's good,
Jade?
What's good, appreciate it. Dog, listen. So how this thought even came about was as I was going through, kind of research and watching videos, I was watching a lot of rookie film, right? Like I'm watching, because the word is, and me and you've been talking about it a lot, that the Pelicans are looking to be aggressive. And we've been talking about possibly trading into the top 10, possibly trading even into the teens. You heard me? Like any particular kind of move to get back into the first round and make some kind of deal and be aggressive. So we looking at all these players and I'm watching videos and I'm like, man, why am I watching videos? We still technically don't have a draft pick yet. we don't have a pick. So what happened, what I end up doing is I'm still a fan at the end of the day, right? So I'll fall in love with the idea of adding a player to the team, right? So like I start visualizing, okay, boom, if we get a Demara, I could see putting him next to Queen possibly, or what he would do for Zion. He got to gain weight. I start getting kind of critical. And then I'm like, we don't have no motherfucking draft pick. They never actually came out and said, we're getting back into this draft for sure, right? It's just They could if they wanted to. So with that being said, do you think it's absolutely critical or imperative that they get back into this draft? Or what's your thoughts in general?
I don't think it's imperative whatsoever. Truthfully, I think, and I've been told that they have several things at play. Like they have several things on the table, a number of things they're trying to do. I'm sure getting in the draft is one avenue they'd like to take, but I think they have several avenues that they'll look to explore and may already be exploring. Can't say too much on that front, but also, what up, Looney? Shout out to my dog, Looney, man. Also, I don't think they're looking to get into the draft just for the sake of getting into the draft. It would be to target one specific guy. Maybe they have a couple of names on the list. We've talked about some of those names, be it a Demar, be it Native Man, guys of that nature. But we haven't even reportedly heard they've gotten anybody in the building to work out. So it may be guys are hesitant to work out because they know the Pelicans don't have a pick. They would, they don't want to necessarily come in and have any risk in that regard. But I don't think it's imperative. I think it's a talking point that I tried to kind of neutralize a little bit last year because, again, they drafted 2 players in the lottery last season. The second player, be it Derek Queen, is technically, he's the second player. He's this year's pick. Like you traded next year's. See, I gotta take my professional mask off.
Let's go.
This is the motherfucking problem. People don't like the front office, so they forget their own talking points, forget their own logic in this scenario. Me, I'm not a fan of that trade. I wasn't a fan of the Derek Queen trade, right? But there were people who said, well, if I could have got Derek Queen 8th next year, cool. I wasn't one of those people. But now that the pick is landed 8, stick to your word. So Derek Queen, technically the 8th pick from this year, he's here now. So it shouldn't matter if you got a pick or not. If they want to get an additional pick, cool. But also, you got to look at how many teams have draft picks that actually go on to win championships with that team. Like typically, guys by their second or third contract, they move on to another team, and that's where they usually have most of their success. I think people are just talking about it mainly because it's the low-hanging fruit, and they just want to be hypercritical about the team trading last year's pick. But those same people, for the most part, love Derek Queen. So it just gets to the point where you can't have it both ways. Personally, I think every team in the NBA wants to be in the top 10.
Every great point.
Like right now, if OKC could consolidate 12 and I think 17 and move up into the top 10, they would do it. Like everyone wants to be in the top 10. Like, so it's just ridiculous.
I completely agree. I was thinking about it, and it's kind of like how I like to do it when I'm thinking about them potentially trading into the pick. And shout out to you, Loons. You heard what was said when the Knicks won. It was F those picks. Either you make moves or you fall further behind. And the thing is, the key to that statement is make moves. It don't say get back into the draft. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like the priority list could actively be shifting depending on what new information they're getting behind the scenes. So like, let's say there's a big board, right? Because this is what let me see if I can pull this up for you real quick. I put this out today as I was just kind of going through. I put this out on my X, my personal, like as I go through, and you know, we talk about this a lot on the show too, but I put this out. Right. This is my list of players that I just, as you know, as we continue to go on, just like my priority list of players, right? So like, if you could get a Jaylen Brown, I'm not overly worried about going back into the draft, right? Because you got to trade for a Jaylen Brown kind of player. If I could get a Khalil Webb, that might, you know, take away some of the things that I might need to go get back into the draft. You know, we thought about Andrew Wiggins specifically and how that created flexibility for the roster and stuff like that. Again, so like as I was putting this out, my thought was maybe, let's say they love a Demara, right? Let's say they love a Demara, but to get into the range where a Demara is gonna go in the draft, it's probably gonna cost you, I don't know, if it costs you 2 future firsts, hypothetically. I don't know for sure, but let's just say hypothetically 2 future firsts, and getting Khalil Webb is gonna cost you 1 future first. I think it absolutely changes what it is you're looking at, and then your priority may change based on who's available. So like, do you think that that's kind of the way they're looking at it? Is they have a lot of flexibility. They've already said, listen, with our roster and our salary, we got a bunch of different stuff we can make. Do you think as they're behind the scenes, maybe doing more research, that like a lot of people have come, I don't want to say come to them, but maybe they've got some indicators or some information that maybe we don't need to get into the draft right now?
I'm sure they're content in the event that they won't be able to get into the draft. Well, in the event that they aren't able to get into the draft, but because I think they have so many different directions that they'll go in, and so many different just plan B's and C's and D's. And I think they just have a lot of different avenues that they would look to go in the event that they couldn't get into the draft. I don't think they're married to any direction necessarily, aside from being competitive this year. And I think how they'd like to be competitive this year is based on, I mean, what the market dictates. Like, you know what I'm saying? If the market dictates, you can easily get back into the draft. Like, for example, if Mara, the latest 3 mocks I've seen have Mara falling to 12. It's a lot easier to get to 12 than it would be to get to 7. You know what I'm saying? So in the event that you can get to 12 relatively easy and take Mara, cool. And maybe it wouldn't cost you your Milwaukee Bucks first. In the event that Ware would get you, it would be 1 first. But if it's the Milwaukee Bucks first, it's a stake. Excuse me, it's a stake worth the sizzle in that scenario.
Right.
But I don't think they're in a situation where they're like, we have to get back into the draft. We have to get this person. We have to get that person. Because truthfully, this is just one draft they'd be missing.
Absolutely.
And next year's draft, people say that every year, like the 2020 draft that produced, who was it? and Desmond Bain.
A
There's
bunch
all
of
these. There's a bunch of stars, all budding all stars and superstars here and there. That was thought to be a weak draft. Like every year, there's going to be star players produced in drafts, and truthfully, after about the top 3, maybe 4, depending on how the draft. It's a crapshoot. Like, and even in a lot of draft, like Chet is a very good player, but no one's gonna think Chet is a star. Jabari's clearly not a star. They got people who think Paolo Banchero's not a superstar. There's a lot. These drafts fall different ways every year. Like after about 4 in this particular draft, you're looking at just high level role players potentially. So I don't think they're necessarily determined to get into the first round. And here's one thing before I'll say this in closing. Bro, people just don't want to admit that they don't know anything. And that's probably the most frustrating part about the new regime dealing with like some of the media, local media, is like they don't really talk like that. So if you're a local media person, you're used to an open door policy with the prior front office. It's probably extremely frustrating not being able to communicate with this front office, and every tidbit of information that comes out, people are just taking it and running with it. I don't give a fuck what it is. Like I promise, if Evan Sittery tomorrow tweeted that the Pelicans were interested in Patrick Williams from the Chicago Bulls, you'll have a ton of people doing Patrick Williams film breakdowns. Like, well, Patrick Williams, all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, bro, just come on. Like, let's gotta take certain shit with a grain of salt.
I completely agree. That's a very good point, because in the previous years and again, I haven't been in the media space, but just following the team, right? It was easy to say, okay, they're targeting this person. It was okay, they're looking. And while if you were behind the scenes, a lot of people knew coming into this pick and when they came into this season, like when they got hired and came into this season, Joe Dumars kind of told you up front, we looking to be aggressive. You know what I mean? We're looking to trade. And I think a lot of that happened when the pick didn't land like top 5, right? Like when the pick don't go, you don't get number 2 or number 3 or something like that. Now it's like, all right, damn, I think we might need to be even more aggressive with our thinking as far as like, because if I'm not mistaken, the lottery was decided before they traded away that second pick, right? Yeah. So like you knew you had 7 before you traded away the Indiana pick to get back into this draft to get a second.
Because that pick was originally 23.
Slotted to be top, right? So
that pick
I'm
was
saying
23. Yeah.
Before they moved the Indiana pick and said, man, we just need more assets. Initially, when the lottery odds were coming out, you thought you had a chance of getting number 1. To be honest, you were looking at possibly having a chance. You tanked. You were one of the worst teams. You had a chance at like a Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, one of those kinds of players. But then when the lottery comes out and you wind up at 7, I think they decide, okay, damn, I don't know if we got enough, to do it. Let's make the aggressive move and go into that. But that really was some of the most information that you got, is that they were going to be aggressive, and everybody knew that they loved Derek Queen, right?
Right. I think people probably knew a little too much that they loved Derek Queen, and that probably hurt some of their negotiating leverage. I think people talk too fucking much. But also, I'll say, look, they inherited a team with a lot of issues, and the team, just being real, the team was void of talent. You know what I'm saying? They didn't inherit this incredibly talented team that just needed the right guidance and the right coaching and all that. You inherited point guard that hadn't played in a year, who would go on not to play in another year. That's 2 years. That's an offseason where you're handcuffed. You can't even trade this guy if you want to. CJ McCollum's entering the final year of his deal. You know what I'm saying? He's not a positive asset. He's just less of a negative asset. At best, he's a neutral asset. So you trade him for a slightly more negative asset in Jordan Poole. You hope to refurbish his value, replenish his value, and Sadiq Bey also. If you look at it, like in theory, the Pelicans got rewarded for taking on that additional year of Jordan Poole because you took back Sadiq Bey and you got a second round pick, which turned out to be Michael Peavy, right? So I think they did the best they could last offseason. Like, because again, like we spoke about Trae Young earlier this morning, Trae Young wasn't available last offseason for the price he was available for. So, you just try to fix what you can and plug the holes you can in the situation you're in. I think people probably thought, regardless of how you feel about Derrick Queen last year, right? He had a decent year to some. People probably thought he would be better.
Yes,
just 1 year, he had a terrible coach. People probably thought he would be a little bit better than he was initially. Probably thought Fears would take more time, and it was a bit of an inverse. But so, like, I don't think they're tripping on the draft necessarily. Like, even Mara's like 22 years old. Mara is a plug and play now player. I think when people think about the draft, they always thinking about 19-year-olds with a ton of upside. The Pelicans are trying to be competitive now. If they didn't think Mara could help them now today, they probably wouldn't have no interest in Mara. Like, if he was going to be a long-term project, I don't think they would have interest in him. Not saying that Mara is the guy. I'm just saying, for example, like, I don't think they would. Derrick Queen's about to be 22. They probably felt like he can help us today. We need talent today. And
I think most of the moves that were possible, like you said, we talked about Trae Young this morning. If at the time, before they took that draft pick, right, because they traded for Jordan Poole before they drafted Jeremiah Fears, I'm pretty sure they kicked around the idea of somebody trading for DeJounte before DeJounte got back, like, especially after everything that came out in the interview. I'm sure they kicked out what other potential deals that they possibly could have gotten for CJ McCollum before they moved CJ for what they moved CJ for. So what people, like, I think don't realize, which is why the idea of going into the season with Jordan Poole, for example, as an expiring is more attractive, because deals that may not be available right now in the off season, like the expiring deal during the season, is more like a escape raft for some teams. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a star or something like that, like, man, we might not be able to. We dysfunction. The team ain't perform as well as we thought they would. It's a way. That's simple. That's how Atlanta moved off of Trae Young. That's how he ends up on the Wizards, specifically because they weren't doing nothing with that particular pick, and then they go ahead and make with that player, and they go ahead and make the move. So as far as the Pelicans go, as far as like getting back into this draft again, personally, I think because they want to compete now, you really don't have. I'm not saying you can't take a player, because, like you said, Demara is what seems to be a plug and play now kind of player, right?
He would be your starting center in my opinion. I
100% agree. But until you see it on the NBA level, you still never know, right?
Right.
Until you see it on the NBA level, you never know. At the same time, I think the Pelicans, because they're trying to win now, you have to go through the idea of, I need players that I know can contribute, less risk in what it is that they're going to be able to do. That's why we talk about players like Precious Achiuwa, low acquisition player that you could get that will come out and help you right away. So as we going through this season and we talking about possibly getting back into the draft, it's just kind of like, well, I don't know if what I have to give up for a Demara would kind of, how competitive does that make me today in comparison to some of the other people that we're gonna have? Whoa, what's up, Cullen, man? And shout out to everybody as y'all follow through, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button as we come through. What is it? What time? What is the official? Technically you can make deals now, can't you?
You can make trades now. The official league year, if I'm not mistaken, starts July 1st.
Say July 1st, yeah.
If I'm
But I
not
know
mistaken.
you could trade some people. I know you could sign
Yeah,
sign
you could
your
do yeah. It's just I think it's the moratorium between when you sign free agents and when it becomes official. I think that's like
yeah,
July 6th, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah.
the
It's just
official new league year starts July 1st.
absolutely. So I'm just sitting there thinking about it, man. So let me ask you this. What do you think the front office's priority is above everything else? What you think the priority is?
The center position.
The center position.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you think, because I know we're talking about, like, again, the news with Walker Kessler just came out, and they're being disgruntled and stuff like that. Again, that type of stuff changes as that information come out. Maybe that changes what you were thinking, because instead of you
Could.
trading for Demar, it's kind of like, well, shit, we ain't know Walker Kessler will possibly be in this situation. Maybe we could. That was an asset we didn't think we could have gotten before. Maybe there's an avenue to getting that kind of player. If you, of all the centers available right now, who do you think that they realistically could get would move the needle the most?
I think I would probably put Daymara at the lower end of realism, just because, unless he takes his qualifying offer. He takes his qualifying offer. I don't think many people could put forth a better offer than the Pelicans. I mean, Khalil Ware, to me, because you got the upside, you got a lot. He checks every box for his talent and skill. He's got motor issues and some reported IQ issues. But I think if you, like, in the West, especially, you need big bodied centers. Like, shout out to Paperboy. He said Mara rim the turn, but we get exposed to space. That's why his minutes were down. Hard pass, please. That's the same thing I thought with Klingon. Even Wemby gets exposed in space. Like, if he was perfect, he'd go number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the like that's really,
good,
well, what up with your joke? That's really the issue with any of these guys. Like, remember Khalil Ware went like 17 or something along those lines.
He went 13 to in the bad draft, went 13.
Yeah, he went 13 in a bad draft. I mean, there were a ton of questions about him, coming into the draft process. In the way front offices seem to be viewing him, if it was a redraft, he probably would go about 13. Like, maybe he go 10th. But I mean, the way front office seem to be viewing him, at least that's the narrative being put out. With any big, I think you're gonna have pluses and minuses. We're not really in the era of the 40-minute, 35-minute big anymore, especially not big-bodied centers. But I think for us, the guy who would be the most obtainable, that probably won't cost you that much, would probably be Khalil Ware. If all it cost you, but I mean, that's a pretty valuable Bucks pick. I'm kind of ping pong back and forth as to whether I would do that trade. Right now, I'm kind of on the side of no, but you still got your own future first assets. If you did want to throw in a protected first for Khalil Ware, I think he would help you in some instances today. Also, he's on a rookie scale deal.
Yes.
And you probably wouldn't have to give up Yves Missi in that scenario. So now you got like more of a two-headed monster. And Khalil Ware has some positional versatility because he played with another big before and Bam Adebayo. So I think Khalil Ware would probably check every box for you.
I'm glad you said that. And I don't even know if you knew this, but Khalil Ware is also my number one priority.
I had an idea.
Khalil Ware is absolutely my number one priority. So I had this queued up for those because a lot of people are talking about Khalil, and shout out to y'all, man.
And this is fair use, by the way.
Yeah, if you fair use, man, appreciate everybody for allowing us to run these videos. Yeah, but a lot of people are talking about Khalil Ware's potential limitations and no motor and all of those things. But I'm like, how often do you really watch Khalil Ware? So let's just take a look at, again, Khalil Ware and what he would bring to this potential team. The athleticism, the actual big body at the rim, both vertical, offensively and defensively. Yes. Again, bro, I don't think we have anybody anybody on this roster that does the things that Kalel can do on both ends of the floor, in my opinion. So
Kalel Ware today would be a top 3 most talented player on the Pelicans. If you traded for him today, it would be like Kalel Ware. Well, it would be Zion, Kalel Ware, and Trey Murphy, and then Fierce probably would be 4th. Like this, I'm just talking about talent.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, yeah.
But again, how Kalel is what 7'1", 7'2". You know what I mean? 7'2", shoot the 3, run the floor. We've seen him again more than anybody. Rebounds. Yeah, that's Karl-Anthony Towns he's shooting that 3 in front of, if I'm not mistaken. So Herb Hawk Bucks pick for Aiden Kuminga. I don't know if I'm doing that, people, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm absolutely not doing it.
Yeah.
Just because
because I got to pay Kuminga too.
I would have to love who I'm picking at 8. And I mean, I would have to be in love with that play. I think that's just too much.
Shit out of here.
Because that's essentially 2 firsts and 8 to take back. And I'm probably picking up Kuminga's option in that scenario. I'd rather just roll the dice with my Bucks pick, honestly.
Yeah. Man, listen, bro. I'm under the assumption every time, because again, I'm watching rookies. I was watching the that's funny, Cam Jordan back. Oh, shout out to Cam coming back to the team, but Lord.
I feel the same way, Joe.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I'm like, oh my God.
Where I need Queen with him, too slim. Listen, man, Queen more than anybody needs a player like a Webb, in my opinion. Look, bro, we don't, again, I like the idea more so than anything of having Zion, like the rim deterrent for Mosley's defense that I don't think he's ever had, to be honest, as well. I would love to see what Jamal Mosley's defensive scheme could look like if you got a guy that's like that. And again, man, if y'all watch, bro, anytime they come to the rim, he's defensively moving his feet, active with his hands, active feet, running the floor. Like, how many bigs? We see Eve Messi sprint down and get, you know what I mean, get a lot of dunks. You see Carlo on the move. If you got a guy like this, bro, on your team, I personally think he becomes the priority. And they talking about wanting to compete now. I just think he's everything that you want, especially if you told me I got DQ, which is technically this like you said before, that's this draft pick.
Technically,
right? And when they first announced the lottery pick, like you said, people say, yeah, I'd be fine with taking DQ at 8. But even before that, most people were saying that DQ was going to be better than most of the people in this draft anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying that was really reported. A lot of people were comfortable saying that Derek Queen would be better than most of the players. Not obviously.
I think too, when you look at like, for example, you don't draft a need in the NBA necessarily, but like if you were at pick 4 and you desperately needed a center, you're not going to take Darius Acuff. I mean, no. You're not going to take Fleming. Like, you would be like, if I got Jeremiah Fez, I'm going to have to reach for somebody because I already have my guard of the future. Like, it would be a scenario to where you ended up reaching for a center probably, and people will criticize that also. Like, why the fuck you reach for Mara when he's projected to go 12? Or you would be trying to trade back. You know what I'm saying? So it's a number of ways things could have worked out. Like, and one thing I will say as it pertains to Derek or Zion, just now, I will say this: these are his highlights.
Yes,
but
now listen, I'm gonna say this. You know, how I am about watching the film, right?
Right.
I've watched some of his bad games and I've watched some of his good games. Like, I similarly to what people said about DQ, where like, and you know how Spoelstra do this. Spoelstra historically, for whatever reason, and maybe it's not just a Spoelstra thing.
I don't think Spoelstra likes centers.
Exactly. I think it's that. And because you seen him, Jovic played really, really well, and they benched Jovic. Like, Jovic was firmly in the rotation. They paid, extended, and everything, and you saw him get limited. And teams that's trying to compete, for the most part, you got to be a certain type of coach to play young players. Because Kuminga couldn't get minutes. Kuminga was glued to the bench in Golden State. So like a second year player in where when you have Bam that's gonna play most of your minutes in the way that Miami typically has been playing recently, I kind of can see him getting a little down on himself when you think, okay, man, I'm on a little bit of a groove, and then all of a sudden you find yourself on the bench.
There's some turmoil there. And also, I think honestly, the only reason we ain't seen Bam get benched before because he's Bam. I don't think Bam is just some incredible player. I think Bam is he's like all right, but all-star caliber guy. But I don't think he's this all-world player. I think Spoelstra just has a short leash with certain guys, and the further you're down the totem pole, if Khalil Ware was a top 5 pick, there's no way he's getting benched.
No.
And you've seen several guys have ups and downs in Spoelstra's system. Jaime Jaquez went from a promising rookie to like an okay second year. This year, he was all right. Yo was another guy who had, a ton of potential, got his extension, and then he's been in and out of the lineup. Like, it's been a number of things. Jimmy Butler's had some terrible regular seasons in a row, but he shows up in the postseason. It's been a number of things with Spoelstra in the Heat system. I think that's an incredibly overrated organization, honestly.
Man, listen, I was having this conversation earlier today. Shout out to my partner Mike, bro, because we was talking about the Giannis trade, and he was like, I don't care if they get Giannis, and I love Trae Young, which is how I came to you with the Trae Young thing. He was like, I don't care, because that was reported that one of their backups is possibly doing go and get Trae Young if they fail to land Giannis. And my partner Mike was just like, I don't care who they land. You know what I mean? You could land Giannis, you could get Trae Young, you could get Ja. It don't really matter what Miami got going on right now. I don't think they're gonna be a good team. And I kind of agree with him, to be honest. I think as much like similarly to how it feels like Steve Kerr to a degree has kind of run his course to a degree. It feels a little bit like Spo has kind of run his course in Miami. Not saying that he's not a great coach, or he wouldn't be good somewhere else, but it just feels as if
I think Spo is the Mike Tomlin of the NBA.
That's a great
incredible middle of the pack coach that when he has all world talent can really take you somewhere, but if the talent isn't there, like he might keep you afloat. Like they've been a perennial play-in team. You look at the times they have won big, and I'm not trying to beat up on Spo, but you had fucking Hall of Famers. You had Dwayne. You got 2 rings.
Wade, Chris Bosh.
Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron James. You went to the finals with Jimmy Butler playing arguably some of the best basketball of his career in the postseason. One time was in the bubble. You got your teeth kicked in the finals. Then you go back versus Denver. You get your teeth kicked in, and again, there's no cigar for just making it to the finals. You got to win one. You know what I'm saying? By that account, Rick Carlisle's a much better coach than Spo. At least he took him to Game 7 once, and he has a ring. He beat the Miami Heat and just took OKC to Game 7. Rick Carlisle's a better coach than me. I think Spo is just incredibly overrated, bro. Like that's just me. And none of these coaches are infallible. All of these motherfuckers make mistakes. You go to any fan base, somebody's going to be upset someone isn't playing and they're giving this guy too many minutes. That's what in every fan base.
I agree. And we've seen great coaches, some of the greatest coaches, Greg Popovich. Once Tim Duncan retired, Tony Parker was gone, Kawhi was gone. It was over. You saw them again. They just recently went back to the playoffs after what it was like 7 years or something like that of not making the playoffs. You saw Thibodeau for the most part has done a good job of rebuilding that team, but you see Mike Brown constantly get fired, come in with that same team and be able to get over the hump, win a championship.
I think
you're going to use my decision.
Talent wins games.
Yes.
Right. You could have a nobody, nothing ass coach. Doc Rivers no one thinks Doc Rivers is a good coach. They accumulated a bunch of talent and they won the championship. Talent
Yep.
wins. At the end of the day, talent wins. To me, the makings of a good or great coach is when you don't have,
Oh my gosh, bro.
like when you have a bunch of like journeymen, and you can scrap together those journeymen and make that into a quality team. Like some of the things Taylor Jenkins was able to do when Memphis was injured. Some of the things
old Larry Brown used to take those work
what he
teams and be
did
like,
with the Pistons, or what he did even with the 76ers.
yes.
With you just saw what's his name, man? You just saw Jamal Mosley do that in a couple of years where the Magic had a bunch of injuries and Franz missed games and Paolo missed games.
Old boy from you know who else I think is a great coach like that? Quinn Snyder, I think, is a great coach.
Quinn Snyder's another guy. Like, especially seeing now, because what he did with the Jazz is awesome. But you can say, well, he had Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert wasn't thought to be this great player. He became a great player under Quinn Snyder. And he's maintained it since then. And, you know, just going through Atlanta, like it wasn't until Jalen Johnson really took the next step and you just started accumulating more and more talent that team ultimately became good. Nate McMillan was winning with that Atlanta team.
Absolutely. No, listen, let me address one of these real quick. I know a lot of people talk about Ware being poor in space, but like most bigs are poor in space. That's why they bigs. They not guards. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like most bigs, it's like if you a big, I can't imagine any big that's a true big like Wemby, Joker, who else is a true big? Chet to a degree. Most of those dudes, bro, you're not switching out and the guards have the wings have tough times guarding these guards. You think one of the bigs gonna switch out and guard and stuff like that? So I think I'm not expecting, if we were to get a Khalil Ware, for example, I'm not expecting him to come out and be able to guard on a perimeter like that. I think you could, you know, maybe for a little bit, but what he does is he's like some of that margin for error that we have, how short that window is. A guy like Ware that's what talent does. Talent erases the margin of error. Like that pass don't have to be perfect for him to catch that alley. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just jump higher than people. Sometimes you just, I'm just better than you at the end of the day.
I think, I don't know, man. I think it's kind of like people say, like, if cornerbacks could catch, they'd be wide receivers. If safeties were fast, they'd be cornerbacks. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I think you can look at any player in the league and they're gonna have some major deficiencies or deficiencies that you like uncomfortable with, but it's like, do their positives outweigh their negatives? I think with Khalil Ware, his positives outweigh their negatives. To me, I already say this, Wemby don't really have no game to me. I just think Wemby's 7'5". So like,
and
you know,
being 7'5" is a thing.
That's a major advantage. Like that's the thing. Like Khalil Ware being arguably 7'2" and an incredible athlete is a major advantage. Like I've seen Eve Messi sit down and really guard Anthony Edwards for like stretches, and like, damn, Eve Messi was pretty good on the perimeter in those stretches against Ant. But that's not something I'm scouting Eve Messi for or looking for him to do, you know, for extended periods. I think bigs are bigs. Like that's why you have perimeter defenders to guard along the perimeter. You know, once guys make it into the teeth of the defense, I'm looking for you to kind of drop back for the most part.
I agree that Brunson shut all that European player talk up. That's a real thing, man. I know some people having that you got to have the Brunson best player in the league conversation. I don't know if I'm going there, but when you the king, man, you know, that's kind of where it is. We need all the unwanted talent. I agree with that statement too. Like
you need the renegades, man.
Yeah, the way that teams like the Pelicans have to build, and again, if we're talking about not going into the draft, all of those players that are extreme, like the Ben Matherins of the world, right? Ben Matherin had an incredible skill set, even though, you know, he showed in the finals he was able to score the ball and all of that. We don't know what's going to happen with Ben Matherin moving forward, but when they were kicking the idea of trading for Ben Matherin, I completely understood, because that dude showed he could score the ball at elite level, 20-point score. You need something like stack that on your roster. And if the cost of acquisition was only going to be Ease Messi at the time, I completely get it. Right. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see what this particular front office decides to do. But again, as you reported, as we talked about multiple times, the report is that they're being incredibly aggressive. For me, my number one priority that I think the must-have is Khalil Ware. If they decide to not get in the draft, right? I know, people talking about Jaylen Brown. We've had conversations about Ja Morant. For me, my number one would be Khalil Ware. That's even over Kessler because like for Kessler, again, you got to figure out a way to get Kessler. You got to sign him and then whatever that scenario might be. I think, whoa, it was good, Bird. Appreciate it. But for me, I just think that would be the most ideal scenario to make you better that you probably could do. Again, and if you're willing to give up a pick, you might only be looking at hypothetically Hawkins, or like maybe not Hawkins in the first, but you know what I'm saying? Like if it was a salary cap kind of thing, you could go Eves in a pick. I don't know if you would do that.
Hypothetically, you don't have to give him shit. You could just
take him.
Yeah, you could just take him into your like a part of your exception or into a trade player exception. He only makes about $4 million. If Milwaukee was like, we don't want him at all, or like if you did, only way to me, if Milwaukee was willing, hypothetically speaking, if Milwaukee was willing to take back one of your players, that's a win. If they was like, we'll take Hawkins, that helps clear your books of a couple $1 million, and now you're probably looking at the full MLE, full non-tax MLE, which is about $15 million instead of like the $12 million that you have now. For me, I would love for it to be Khalil Ware. Personally, I think it would check a lot of boxes. You can still run a multi. You can still run center by committee if you were able to hold on to Eve in that scenario. And I also think until the market is officially set, you need them rookie scale deals because I don't think you'll be able to extract much value from certain guys. I think with DeJounte, with Poole, more DeJounte than Poole. You just what was that with Lionel? You're more so looking like you just taking on a more negative asset. Like if you traded DeJounte who has 2 years left, you probably trading them for a guy making more money who has 2 years left, or trading them for a guy that has maybe he makes the same amount of money, but he has 3 years left. You feel me? Like for me, and I'm going to do a show about this later. I think probably the most reasonable trade for DeJounte is probably a team like Orlando, who's their apron team. You got to pay Anthony Black soon. They're not in love with Wendell right now, and I understand why. Jonathan Isaac only has $8 million guaranteed. In theory, they could cut Jonathan Isaac, but it only saves them $4 million. If you're the Pelicans, you can say, well, I'll cut him. I'll pay the $8 million and just cut him cut bait with him and take back Wendell.
What they did with Dale and Terry. They traded Dale and Terry in the Jose deal, I think it was, and just cut him as well.
Yeah, and you would still be out of the tax. Like the Pelicans have a ton of ways that can go. I think people just aren't like, myself included to some degree, like aren't like necessarily versed in the salary cap and some of the mechanisms and some of the ways out that you can navigate some of the team needs. Like there's a lot of things you can do. Like for example, I think I saw somebody talking about Fred VanVleet the other day and like a DeJounte for Fred VanVleet. And I'm like, well, if you did that under, last year's salary cap, if you did that before July, then maybe that works. But Fred VanVleet makes $25 million this year. Like, you know what I'm saying? DeJounte makes over 30.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't even work. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You'd have to add something from Houston.
Houston would have to add something. And the one guy you would really want in that scenario would probably be Tyree Eason, who's a restricted free agent. So they're probably not going to add him. So, I mean, people just have to know what they're talking about in some of these scenarios.
I agree. I like this question too. What y'all think the organization's priorities are? Is it drafting, trades, free agency, or moving on one of contracts? What's the order of operations? My opinion on this is, and we've kind of talked about it a little bit earlier in the show, but I think what they're doing is their order of operations is based off the most talented players that they have access to. So if said player is in the draft, like player that they can get, level of talent for player acquisition versus the cost of acquiring said player. Like if let's say you have two options again of getting a Demara and Khalil Webb, but getting a Demara requires you one to be extremely risky because with the draft you don't know what anybody. Well, go ahead.
Man, my bad. We got it's 30 people watching, 14 likes. Let's hit the like button, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. We appreciate all y'all supporting us, man. Hit that like button for us, man. We appreciate y'all. Go ahead, Al. My bad.
Absolutely, dog. Matter of fact, look, since you like to do that, I like to go ahead and give you one of these too. Let me go ahead and go to a little quick commercial break while I give y'all opportunity to hit the like button.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts. And then you will run a mile. Perfection. Let's go to work.
Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. That's my shout out from Denzel. That's when Jamal Mosley got hired. That's what I picked up when Joe Dumars and them got it, man. Them dudes gonna work. And look, shout out to them. Everything we've been talking about, if y'all been following the show, you know what I mean? You already know that they've been putting in the work to reach these goals that they set out for themselves. But with that being said, like we was kind of talking about the idea that what the Pelicans' priorities are, and I think their priorities are going to be talent-based versus cost of acquisition based. By no means do I think they're going to run it back this season. Like, let me ask you that. What do you think the possibility, like, what's the possibility that they run it back to a degree?
When you say run it back, like how many players you mean? Like the whole team?
Not the whole, because I so let's say at least the top 10 in the rotation is kind of like what the most important stuff is, I guess. Do you think there's going to be significant change, one in like the starting lineup, or two in the 6-man role, or like the first 8 off the bench?
I think at least 3 players will go.
Okay.
Yeah, I think at least 3 players will go. I mean, I don't count Looney. Like, if you take him out of the equation, I think at least 2 to 3 players will go. Just based on them needing roster spots in general. Shout out to Mr. Hennessy. Like, them needing roster spots in general. Like, right now, I think they got 2 roster spots available, if I'm not mistaken. You're gonna have to find a taker for a couple of these guys. If you really want to be competitive, it's hard to do that with $12 million because you're going to fuck around and get dangerously close to the tax. And then you're going to need to attach an asset to move off of certain guys. I think they're going to look for a trade partner with DeJounte. I think they got a couple people that's going to be interested. Like we talked about, I think Orlando is going to be one of them, maybe Houston in some scenario. I think they absolutely going to look to address the starting center. And that center ain't going to come for free. They ain't a bunch of great options on the free agent market. I think they're going to look to do it via trade somehow. Yeah. Perimeter defense and strength and toughness. Because when they say toughness, they talking about certain motherfuckers. Certain people, they just like, this person ain't tough. So I think they're going to look to like bring in some toughness, whatever that looks like, or however they can do that. They're going to look to bring in some toughness. I expect them to be active. Like, I expect them to look to trade. And one thing I did notice, aside from Fears, and you already know, like Zion, aside from Fears and maybe Zion, they didn't really go out of their way to say anyone else on the team was especially tough.
I agree.
It's a deep bait.
Yes.
But they didn't go out of their way and say like, oh, and this guy, he's he really some players they haven't spoken about at all this offseason. Like,
yes,
their names have never come up. No one's asked them about these players or what have you. So I think they exploring every avenue,
all
and
options.
they're gonna try to bring in some dogs.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, and I know DQ is their guy, and I know as of right now, coming into the offseason, I think they said DQ is pretty DQ and Fizz, and I guess they haven't technically said it, but they pretty much put it out there that Zion's kind of untouchable as well. Obviously, if somebody comes in with a fantastic offer that you can't refuse, then maybe they consider it. But do you think DQ is falling like out of favor with them? Like after having him in the building for a while?
Excuse me. It's tough to say. I don't think he's necessarily fallen out of favor.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has the highest probability to fall out of favor, though.
Okay.
Like just based on various things. Like I think that's why, to me, and I'm not saying they feel this way. I'm just saying this is how life works. Shit changes.
Absolutely.
Right? Shit changes. like new information comes in, like, all right, shit changes. Like I'm using this for a talking point, not comparing this player to Derek Queen. You drafted Killian Hayes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Killian Hayes was like, all right, young prospect, drafted him pretty high. I told him he was drafted 7th. Guard. Probably saw him and Cade as the backcourt of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Shit didn't work out.
No.
We're like, all right, it didn't work out. We're gonna move on. I think when you draft a player, you have every intention on this player being the guy for you moving forward. And sometimes it don't work out. Like, it cannot work out for Jeremiah Fitz. It cannot work out for Queen. Like, and shit changes. I think people are a little delusional. Like, to think that, like,
everybody's gonna be the best version of themselves.
Yeah, or like they drafted this guy, so they're going to, they gonna ride or die with him. It's like, no, things change. like things change, and how players are like in the off season. I'm sure that influences decisions. How players are during the season, what other players think of these guys, what coaches think of these guys. I'm sure that influences some decision making, and you're gonna give a motherfucker every opportunity to succeed or fail, but I don't think this front office is stubborn like that. Where we're gonna live or die by some past decisions we've made. You got to be able to adjust.
That's a big point, because I kind of want, as you brought up Killian Hayes, I'm pretty sure. And what I'm hoping for is that while Jamal Mosley, we think, gets better as coaches improve, they learn from their experiences and they improve. I would think Joe's gotten better from his second half of his tenure in Detroit. I think he'll get better from that, his time in the league office. I think Troy and those experiences with a Killian Hayes and the amount of, room that he gave him, maybe the amount of room that they gave Jaden Ivey, maybe he feels differently about DQ moving forward. Not saying that he don't value DQ or they don't think DQ is great. But for example, if let's say right now DQ is untouchable, but Boston comes to you and say, look, you could have Jaylen Brown, and initially they want Trey Murphy. It's like, well, we don't really want to do that. It's like, all right, well, we'll take DQ and some of your role players, but if you throw DQ in there, then maybe they start being like, well, I love DQ, but you get what I'm saying? Like, maybe depending on who the move is, changes what it is you do. Because young prospects, similar to how what happened with what's his name, man, Buddy Hield and DeMarcus Cousins, right?
Bro, people are fucking delusional. Like, people are delusional. Derek Queen is not untouchable. Like, no. I'm just like, and that's the thing. Like, Fear's not even necessarily untouchable.
Yeah,
it's all about, like, if Washington or Utah came to Minnesota right now and said, look, I got AJ and this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Can I have Minnesota gonna be like, well, wait a minute. Let me think. let me wait. So and that and that and that and that. All of it. Like, everybody, Everybody has a price. Some certain people just not going to pay it. Like probably the one untouchable in the league right now is probably Victor Wembanyama, and then you'll say Shea. Chet not untouchable. J-Dub not untouchable. None of them dudes untouchable. If they call right now and say we want to trade Jason Tatum for J-Dub, what you trying to do? Jason Tatum is going to OKC. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they call like Tatum might be close to untouchable, but if they say we're gonna trade Anthony Edwards right now for Tatum, Anthony Edwards is probably going to Boston. Like it's just about the price.
Jalen Brunson might be the most untouchable. Jalen Brunson
and that's today.
Wemby. Yes, that's what I mean.
Like he would have been.
He would have been all right. You got because before he won, you was he not a 1A, and everybody would have been like, "See, you can't win with that kind of guy."
And here's the crazy part: everybody else on that team is untouchable. I mean, no one else on that team is untouchable. Like, if somebody called today and say, we know OG had a great finals, like the heart and soul of the team.
Yes.
Can we interest you in this very good player right here in these picks? They're gonna do it. Because they got their ring. They don't care
if somebody was like, here's Giannis for OG. Like, here's OG and Hart for Giannis. And it's kind of like Giannis is gonna be a Knick, bro.
It's like honestly. Like, I'm trying to think of like one of the best centers I can imagine that would be realistically available. I think if it was like apples to apples contract wise, if they offered Evan Mobley for Derrick Queen, I think Evan Mobley would be a Pelican. Like, it's just, I just think people are a little delusional. I just think, I don't think. No, just because you draft, and I'm not saying this about Derrick Queen. I think Derrick Queen gonna be fine. But I'm saying this because you draft a person, that don't mean you're saying, you're gonna be here forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, like that don't go that way.
Especially if somebody offered me let's say a top 5 player in the league, top 10 player in the league, especially if that player just so happens to be a position of need or something like that. It's just kind of like, look, bro, if I'm trying to win today, and it's only. Again, as much as I love DQ, but unless DQ becomes what Dylan Harper looked like this year, you know what I mean? Where it looked like, hey man, this young dude is about to, y'all can compete now, because they're on a compete now timeline. Like, you have to show incredible production to have that kind of stand power, in my opinion. Right? If you don't look like that, then it's kind of like, of course, we'll move you for Karl Anthony Towns or something like that. So
I just think it's such a lazy talking point, bro. When people like, well, she's clearly going to be your wife because you dated her. It's like, no, I just dated her. Like I might, like, you know what I'm saying? I just dated her. If it didn't work out, I'm gonna go date someone else. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a buy the cow situation. I don't think with in that scenario. Hopefully, it all works out. But I think. Nah, bro. Like, look, again, outside of the top 3, really like top 2, but let's just say top 3, you're drafting players so eventually you can trade them for a great player. You're drafting good young players so you can trade them for a great star type player someday if it pans out. Like, Darius Garland was traded for James Harden.
Yeah, everybody on the Knicks was not a Knick. Other than everybody on the Knicks was not a Knick, other than I think Mitchell Robinson was the only one that actually was a Knick that was able to get it done. You good, bro. Other than that, I think we kind of in that world, in that particular scenario where, again, while I think the roster is, I think they're gonna do a bunch of moves. I just personally, based on this episode, don't think it's gonna come through I ain't gonna say it's not gonna come through the draft. But if you watch the draft and the Pelicans don't seem to make a move and they only stay and take that pick at 58 or something like that, maybe somebody falls and they think to go up and take like a higher second round pick or something like that. If they don't make that type of move, don't be surprised. Don't blow it out of proportion, because I do not think that the priority for this particular team is getting back into the draft. Like, I don't think they view anybody, because like it would be different if they were like, we trying to go get Darren Peterson. right? Something like one of those top 3 kind of look. We view somebody like that. We trying to go get in and get one of those type of players. You're talking about anywhere between, honestly, we don't even know what the range is, but let's just say hypothetically 7 to 15. That's a wide range of players. And a lot of those dudes, some might become stars. A lot of them become role players. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I like, for example, a guy I like a lot, Cameron Carr, right? I'm not saying Cameron Carr is going to become, you know, a superstar in the league or nothing like that. Like, as of right now, I could see him having like, I think he's like a shorter Trey Murphy to a degree, right? He's got a little bit of he don't defend like Mikal Bridges, but he kind of, like, to me, like, offensively, you know, young Mikal has some athleticism, used to space and shoot the 3, run the floor, stuff like that. Like, so as much as I like Cameron Carr, like, I don't know if I'm giving up significant stuff to go get Cameron Carr or whatever. So that's just kind of where I'm at. So I just kind of want to prep people, because I know a lot of information is being put out about like draft picks and then possibly the Pels making a move. And I do think that they'll be aggressive and kick the tires on it. But again, if they do not trade back into this draft, don't be upset about it or don't be like overly down, because again, they did go up and get 2 guys last year, which a lot of people like. DQ did show some promise. So, you know, that's your guy. Also, moving forward, all of the future picks, and so it's not like you're going to be missing, you know, like drafts in the future, right? So if they're good talent evaluators or whatnot, I think they'll have an opportunity there as well. And then most of the players that I think is going to have like heavy impact on this team are players that's already in the league anyway, or free agents. So that's kind of where I'm at on it.
I think, bro, it's like, look, Larry Brown won the finals, lost the finals the next year, and got fired. Flip Saunders went to 3 Eastern Conference finals in a row, got fired. Chauncey Billups got traded. Like, after all that success, they were still looking to get better. I think Joe Dumars, his history is of a man who's continuously trending and looking to get better, continually looking to improve, whatever that cost is, whatever that looks like. I don't necessarily think he's married to any player necessarily. I think you're going to I think you're constantly evaluating. I think you're in a constant evaluation mode as to, all right, what gets me to the next level? What gets me to the next step? And I mean, I think if you had the answer to the center position on the roster, and maybe they do, but if you had it on the roster, then I think their eagerness to get into this draft probably would lessen. I think, you know, again, if I'm not saying this is a Derek issue, but I think looking for a center is a little bit of a Derek indictment, but I don't think anyone thought Derek was a center anyway. Maybe really drafting Derek is probably more of a Zion indictment, because you never know what you was going to get. You never knew what they expect from Zion. So you kind of need somebody potentially in the front court that you can transition, that you could use to transition out of the Zion era. Again, this is Derek's second year, going into the second year. We don't really know what to expect. I don't think he's a center, and I don't think he's going to be the answer at center. But you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Do you think during their evaluation process this season, like I would imagine they didn't draft Derek to be a 5, right? But do you think during their you think they did?
I think they gave him a chance to be a 5, and it just
I think they gave him a chance to see. But do you think
he sees himself as a 5?
Okay, I get what you're saying. You think it was kind of like one of those, he felt like I could play the 5, and he was like, well, we'll see. And then it didn't quite.
Honestly, bro, I feel like this front office gives everyone an opportunity. That's my takeaway from talking to certain people, and this front office is going to give everybody opportunity to prove themselves, from Willie Green to Derek Queen to Borrego to this person, that person. Like, let's see if it works. Like, I think they go into every situation with a level of optimism, and then it's like, it didn't work, time to move on. Of course, Derek viewed himself as a 5. I'm not sure what he views himself as now, but I think they gave him an opportunity. Shit just didn't work out, and now you pivot. Or maybe they feel like it wasn't a large enough sample size. Don't give them more opportunity at the 5 or what have you. But I don't think that will stop them from going and swinging for the fences as getting like a major rebounder or rim deterrent or guy of that nature. I don't think that will stop them.
I completely agree. I don't really have much else. The kind of underthought that I had behind is like, and we've talked about the free agent list a lot. I think if you decide not to get back into the draft, right, the only thing I kind of want to, I guess, consider or throw to you and see what you think is, does that open your mind more to like players you might have not thought about before? Because what some people try to do is like, for example, I think this team needs shooting, right?
Yeah, that's
not saying that Tim Hardaway Jr. wasn't already on their list of people to consider, but let's just say hypothetically Tim Hardaway Jr. isn't on your list, right? Do you think that they should add players like a Tim Hardaway Jr. or some of the other players that might have not been, because they've been you've been talking about how they've been linked to Quentin Grimes, for example. Do you think they should keep their list what it is, or they should continue to expand on that particular list of players from trade and free agency aspect?
Well, not that they were necessarily linked to Quentin Grimes, just like historically, Troy Weaver.
Right.
Yeah, he traded for Quentin and Fontecchio and those guys. He kind of, and Quentin Grimes is a hell of a on-ball defender as well as a scorer. He was starting.
Quentin Grimes looked like he was going. Yeah, Quentin Grimes was looking like he was going to do something for Philly, and then
being a restricted free agent is hell, boy.
Yeah, man.
But I would stay away from Tim Hardaway. I know you're just using him as an example. I would just stay away from motherfuckers who got a history of not wanting to be in New Orleans, like a Josh Hart type. Just stay away from those people. DeJounte Murray. Just stay away from those people. Like, the motherfucker don't want to come in and embrace what's happening. Just move on from them, because eventually you're gonna have to move on from them anyway. They're gonna be disgruntled in some form or fashion anyway. Like you'll eventually have to move on from them. I think if they don't make a draft pick, that gives them more options in free agency, because that's another thing. You draft the motherfucker, you only got $12 million available if you decline Looney's option. And that's if you don't trade a player for a pick. Like, if you trade a player for a pick, then you got more options. But, well, maybe you got more options. It depends. They might save you a couple million here or there, because having a trade player exception doesn't really help you that much, truthfully. But if you trade a player for a pick and you're able to create a little bit of cap space to where you can sign the player, cool. But if you draft a player, especially in top 10, there's gonna limit your free agency.
You gotta really believe in said guy.
You draft a player. Let's say you trade this hypothetical. Let's say you trade her for what's his name, for Clay, right? That's hypothetical. So you lose let's say about $2 million in cap space. So now let's say you decline Looney, you lose that $2 million. Now you're at about $10 million. You sign that player at number 9. I think number 9 probably makes about $6 to $7 million, if I'm not mistaken. So now you're at about $3 million in free agency to play with. Now you gotta start living and dealing more people. You know what I'm saying? Now, because now it's real out here. Absolutely. So yeah.
Let me throw a couple names at you real quick. We're gonna kind of run through this. And one, tell me, would you? And again, these are free agents and traded players, right? And just yes, you would. You're gonna know roughly what the cost is when we say said player. So yes, you would look at moving to acquire this player, or like no. And like, you don't have to necessarily go into why, but like certain players, if you determine, why, we'll go from there. So the first name, because I think this is the biggest person you could do this pause, but I think this is the biggest person I think you could acquire this offseason, is Jaylen Brown.
You saying yes? What I do? I don't think he's on the market for real.
You don't think he's on the market for real? Do you believe any of the Giannis to Celtics talk and all of that?
Not really.
Okay, so you think it's just either Milwaukee or Boston trying to? That would be more of a Milwaukee trying to figure something out with that.
I think it's coming from Milwaukee and Boston to a lesser degree. Like I don't doubt that Boston is interested in him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see a scenario to where it could really work out without them moving Jaylen Brown. But they not like Jalen's not technically on the market. They just saying we want Giannis, and everyone's making the presumption that if you bring in Giannis, it would have to be for Jaylen Brown.
We had that conversation too, because same thing with Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy, while everybody's mentioning him, the Pelicans have never officially, at least in my opinion, haven't officially offered him to anybody in a trade. Because once you officially offer somebody, in my opinion, I think that's when the players start being like, "Oh, you want to get rid of me? Well, I want to leave," and that causes a lot of friction.
Like Tyler Hero, for example.
Yes,
I think. And again, people don't, because it's behind a paywall, so I get why people don't read the articles. Well, what up, Nando? With the Trey Murphy shit, it's like they haven't officially offered them, but they're listening to calls. They listen to calls for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why at the end of the season presser, they asked Joe. There was like, if you take a call on Zion, it's going to be out there as you're listening to call. Like he just addressed the same thing. Yeah, but it's like. I don't think Trey is untouchable, of course, but they already told you what they want. They want a lot, and if someone comes with a lot, he may get traded. But for Jaylen Brown, if he's available, I'm with it.
All right, so that's a check for that. All right, where obviously
I'm with it, depending on cost of acquisition. I don't know if I'm with it for the Bucks pick though.
I'm starting to, man, I'm so torn on the Bucks pick and whatnot, especially if we don't do anything and stay out of this draft. I think I'm 100% not moving it in next year's draft just because. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I think if you get in this draft, I think you're looking for a center. You're looking for a center or someone's replacement. I'll say that.
I think we need to find a Herb trade for what? I 1,000% do it. Yeah,
I totally agree. That's what I'm looking for, honestly.
Yeah, if I could find a way to turn Herb,
I'll take Jovic and Ware.
Boy, listen, you know how I felt about Jovic too. I'd take almost anybody out their roster if I was able to do something like that. So my next one was Wiggins, Andrew Wiggins.
If there was some type of combination I could do with like DeJounte and it depends on the if just in a vacuum I wouldn't target him unless it was for DeJounte, because I'm trying to full transparency, I'm trying to get rid of DeJounte, right? Because he got 2 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? The 2 years on that contract, player option for $30 million. I think fuck that. Like, no, like I need to address my position of need. I'm comfortable in a world where fear starts next year. Like I'm not uncomfortable in that world. And the fact that I don't think it's a major drop off is like, all right, well, I can't have you. Like, you got to get the fuck on.
That's kind of where I'm at. I don't believe this at all, to be honest. I don't know for sure. I know one thing, they might be doing the ease of the first. I definitely don't believe they shopping Sadiq. Shopping Sadiq pretty much does nothing for you, in my opinion. Like, he don't make enough to really move the needle. You can only really move him unless you talk about Sadiq for where, which I think they finally got Sadiq in a position to where he's like truly what they thought he would be and healthy and found a role. I just can't see that.
He makes $6 million though. Like I think they're just listening to calls for everyone.
Yeah, but I don't see that. What about Hartenstein?
If his options declined, or they try to trade him.
Or let's say they accepted it and wanted to trade or something you out on Hartenstein?
Nah, I'm cool.
Okay. What about John Collins, your guy?
Free agency, yeah, it depends. Like I would have a price point that I wasn't willing to go above.
What's the number for John Collins?
I think 10 million.
You think John have to go for 10 this year?
I think
a good deal for him.
I think 10 million would be good for him, just because he's at a value position. Can still shoot. Can still rebound, rim defend. Yeah. I think that tier of free agent is all in the same realm right now for us. John Collins and Gillespie and like just those two guys. I think they're in the same tier. To me, the only real standout free agents and they're restricted are Kessler and Reeves. And then I think
Watson.
Yeah, and Watson maybe. And even with him, it's like I don't know.
Really know. Yeah.
I don't know how far I put him over Gillespie. Gillespie does one thing, but Watson, like that, you always hurt and you're restricted, so that got to put a dent in your value a bit as well. Tyree Eason, like just high level role players. I think Watson probably got the highest potential though.
I'm interested to see what happened with a lot of these dudes because as the salary cap has changed, like you don't really see role players getting those inflated deals no more. Like you see either if you like fringe NBA, you might be out the league. If you know what I mean, if you ain't willing to play, because some people might not even give you vet minimum numbers. To be honest, like it's getting real tough. So I'm wondering if this summer we gonna see that shift, or is that more of the norm where you see, like you say, players like John Collins, his number comes down. Gillespie, where in previous years you might have seen a player like you seen Duncan Robinson get broke off. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm Gillespie, I'm looking at Duncan Robinson, and I like that's probably like a fair number for you.
I think you could do shorter term deals. Like you could do shorter term deals to where it's like it kind of pans out like Kuminga, like 2-year inflated deal with the second year being like a team option. If you want to get the most, like if you're a team, you got like Gillespie, you like, well, fuck, ain't no money for me out here.
Yeah.
Let me
take the most.
Let me just take a heavy deal right now. And next year I'm out. Like even with Duncan Robinson made it to free agency because like last time from Miami, because pardon me, a large portion of his deal was non-guaranteed. Even with Jonathan Isaac, that number say 14, 15 million or 12 million, but it's only guaranteed for 8. And the last 2 years are non-guaranteed. So you cut him for $8 million, them last 2 years on that deal don't even count. Like, you know what I'm saying? True. You just take the hit for the $8 million. I think you're gonna see more contracts crafted like that. Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims is solid from Milwaukee, right? Played for the Bucks.
Yeah, little cheap backup big. I wouldn't be mad with a Jericho Sims type deal. Yeah, perfect realistic trade. Just trades Nembhard, Wallace. Jarris Wallace plus picks for trade, getting a starting two. I don't know if I like that deal, to be honest. Jarris Wallace haven't even had an opportunity to play, and I don't think Nembhard. I just wouldn't do Nembhard for trade personally. Let's go run through this. Well, I'll go through these kind of quick. Anthony Simons.
Because I like Anthony Simons. I don't think he's gonna get no money this offseason.
Exactly. That's Simons to me feels like one of those kinds of players to where, like, because we talking about you like just having a bunch of talented players to a degree.
Yeah,
I think Boston really wish they would have kept Simons, and he had moments where he was producing. Had historically was a good starter in the league. If you had Simons on this team right now, I think that show up somebody is shooting. Like I think he a dog. But what you think of Simons?
I think if I could get him for like $6 million, I would. Maybe you could probably switch my home for like it's about 6. Because
you think Simons gonna go for something like that?
I ain't saying. I think so. Yeah.
What?
Unless somebody gives him 10, 12 million with a fake second year. I say that because you got paid, you didn't live up to it. You were supposed to be like the CJ replacement. It didn't really happen. And once you start taking them 6-man roles on not bad teams, but you take them 6-man roles, and you'll never really come back to the starting lineup. Like, Nah.
Cam Thomas might be out the league.
There's a world where Cam Thomas, if he now out the league, he playing on a vet minimum next year.
Yeah.
Like that world exists. Like he's playing on maybe $4 million, maybe 1 year, $5 million.
Those guys like the Marcus Thorntons of the league, kind of
microwave scorer type guys.
Yeah.
I think if the league continues to go the way it's going, I just think small guards are going to start to get phased out, or small guards who can't self-create. I'll say that. Like even like with Nembhard, I like Nembhard. He can defend. But Nembhard and TJ McConnell is like, ain't gonna be a ton of them dudes coming back into the league. I don't think. Now this draft gonna have some small guards in there, but small guards have a certain archetype now. Like if you can't score as a small guard, you can't shoot, you can't really, you're gonna have tough sledding, dog. Like for real. That's just how it's starting to look, because nobody can stop nobody right now.
No. Like, and even if you do, in the thing that makes great defense, and people don't think about this, but the defense, in my opinion, unless you Drew Holiday, right? But the thing that makes great defense is having a great big. Like OKC can play that defense because you have Chet and Hartenstein back there. You saw for like the Knicks had a lot of big people on their team aside from Brunson.
6'7", 6'8" wings, like 7 footers in the paint. Like that's why any like iteration of a trade, and we talked about this yesterday. I'm like, you can't have if Fizz is your guy, even if Zion is your guy, Zion's 6'6".
Yes.
If Fizz is 6'3", quote unquote 3.
Yeah.
Right. Bro, you can't have a bunch of 6'3" guards and perimeter players like OKC. OKC's too fucking small. Like, they just won one, but they barely won it against a team that kind of looked.
Pascal Siakam was bullying people.
It was bullying them. Look, Dylan Harper, Castle, Champagne, all them dudes was just too. Carter Bryant.
Physically imposing.
This too physically imposing for them dudes. Like, and they were injured as well, but it's like you lost. It is. I mean, fuck it. At the end of the day, you lost. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, absolutely. Let me run. So, Kuminga, you out?
Kuminga, I think he's another guy that's probably not gonna get another big contract. I wouldn't say I'm out necessarily. I think if I could get him for like Herb money, I would do it for like 15 million. Or if I could like trade Herb for him in some way and decline. Well, no, I don't know how you would do it though, because they would have to decline him and then I could sign him. Maybe some shit like that. But he'll be delusional too. You're not getting no 35.
No 25 at 30.
He might get maybe somebody desperate to do it, but you're not getting no 40.
Go ahead and find it in Brooklyn or Chicago.
If you can find it, shit, I say go find it.
Go take it. Yeah. What about Rui? How you feel about Rui?
Flash in the pan.
Okay.
OKC or San Antonio. He would be very nice in both of those teams.
I think he would do well in because San Antonio. I looked at this. If San Antonio, and I said this earlier, if they wanted to really say we trying to go win, they should go try and get Kessler. They should go do because if you put Kessler next to Wemby, similar to what? What you mean? They ain't paying nobody other than Fox.
But they have to.
But I'm just saying they got Fox. But other than that, Dylan on a rookie deal, Castle on a rookie deal, Harrison about to fall off the books. Cornette technically could go. All of you
Cornette is he a what's Cornette on the option?
Hold on, let me check real quick because I was thinking about it. And I'm just like, no, they have. Now that was the thing with like you said with OKC when they decided to go all in. They traded for Caruso. Yeah, Cornette got this year for 10 mil. This year coming for 10 mil.
So
and then everything else looked unguaranteed after that. Looked like he got 8 years.
They got 43 million luxury tax room, right? They but see, that's the thing. You got 43 million luxury tax room. You got 10 players under contract. So you got to fill in at least 3 of these motherfucking spots, and you got to get better. I think. Ooh, damn! The Aaron Fox contract is hideous, dog. Oh my god! Like just looking at it. Oh my fucking god! You got De'Aaron Fox at 49.5, Devin Vassell at 27.5, Keldon Johnson at 18. That's 3 players that, well, at least 2 that need to get the fuck on somewhere.
Keldon got 1 year left.
Yeah.
So you could probably move Keldon as an expiring.
Yeah. You
So
probably
there's
could.
ways they could create it.
See, the thing is, there's ways they can do it. Like if they just say, man, we going after Walker Kessler, we gonna offer him $35 million. Right? We're gonna offer him $35 million, and we're gonna dare you to match it, and we're gonna just figure out how we're gonna fill out the rest of this roster.
Yeah,
cool. But to me, more than Walker Kessler, who is very good, I don't think, because to me it's kind of like redundant. Because I don't think they lost because Cornette wasn't good. I think they lost because Wemby wasn't good, and Fox was bad. So it's like, until you address Fox,
some of those. Well, you do need. I think they need another move. I don't think they.
They definitely need another bid because Cornette was unplayable in that series. But it's like,
and they typically play Wemby by himself, and they put Champagny out there for the shoot. So, but I just think
Keldon Johnson was bad.
Yeah, it was.
I think they kind of probably need Trey Murphy more than they need Kessler, to be honest.
Yeah, they could use it. Well, yeah, because Trey Murphy got the athleticism, put it on the floor, tall.
He can shoot.
He'd be a supercharged Champagny.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, damn, De'Aaron Fox was bad. Like when I really think about it, it's just like, and Wemby wasn't much better in the end. But when I really think about it, like, what would I change about this team? And realistically, I think they kind of just caught lightning in a bottle to be cool.
So?
Like, because in the postseason, y'all did not play a single healthy team. Maybe Klingon them, but y'all extremely hurt. And many would have beat them, I think.
I'm on board with what you think on them, to be honest, and which is why I'm like, y'all can't. I don't think, and again, I'm a Pels fan at the end of the day, but I don't think they could fall into the scenario. And y'all hit that like button, man. Appreciate y'all. But I think they can't afford to fall into, oh, we're good as is, or we good enough to run it back. And just, even though I think Dillon is going to be better, I do think Castle's getting. I think all of their core players are going to get better, but that don't necessarily mean that next year falls the way that it falls. You got to compensate with talent. So same thing with us, man. You gotta bring
it's
in
like,
talent.
Bro, everybody thought Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russ and Ibaka. Oh, they'll be back. Man, them dudes never made it again.
As you mentioned that, I got a list of teams right now I've been looking at. I was gonna do this that never got back. KD Thunder never got back. Shea, as of right now, haven't got back. Joker never got back. Giannis never got back. Brian and AD never went back. Devin Booker and the Suns never went back. That's just the name.
Brian and Wade only went.
They went to
twice.
4. Well, they went to 4. They won.
Oh yeah, because they lost. Yeah, because they lost against Dallas and they lost against San Antonio.
Yeah,
but it's
there's no. I'm like, if the Knicks never go back to the finals, like it's a world where this was it for the Knicks. You just had to capitalize on the opportunity.
Celtics ain't been back.
Celtics ain't been back. They went that first time loss, but what did they do? They went back and they got smart out of there for Drew. Like
brought in KP.
Al Horford had an incredible season. You know what I mean? So like, you just they made, if you gonna go damn near second apron, we can't make no more moves after this. You better win a championship.
Philly never went.
Yeah, Philly ain't been in a conference final.
Kyrie and KD never went. Phoenix never went back.
No,
like, bro, windows don't exist no more.
No.
Like we're in the it's all about parity. Everybody got a puncher's chance. This motherfucker twists his ankle, and that's your ass.
Yeah.
Like this,
Into because listen, if you added, let's say, if you added a center like Khalil Ware, right? Let's say you added Khalil Ware, you kept Eves, and I don't know, because I think they need another wing player as well. I think they need another scorer on this team, right? Let's throw out another wing scorer. Who do you think would be a wing scorer that they could bring in?
I say you add Quentin Grimes, hypothetically, like give you about 10, 12
okay.
points.
You know what? Let's say it's Ben Mathurin. Let's say they say, fuck it, we're going to go sign Ben Mathurin, right?
I don't know how possible that is, but I get your point.
I guess it. Well, no, we ain't even got to do that. Let's say you sign Quentin Grimes. Let's say you sign Quentin Grimes, which is doable, right? You brought in you signed Quentin Grimes, and Poole looked like Poole that we normally see.
Yeah,
because that's a realistic possibility. I think this was one of the worst years of Poole career. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that guy. If he looks like the Poole that we think he can be, you know what I mean? Or anything like he's been before, that's a significantly better player, right? So let's say you do that. All right, you match up well against Minnesota. So let's say you get Minnesota, you match up. Let's say you play Denver. Denver's the team you struggle with, right? Jamal Murray is like, come playoff time, he be cold, but that motherfucker be hurt too sometimes, right?
Yeah, Aaron Gordon hurt.
Aaron Gordon missed a couple playoff games. We going into those series like we got a shot. Luka missed the playoffs, right? Brian might not be there. Austin Reeves might not be there. Shay, you just saw OKC. J-Dub didn't play. Chet was small, and AJ Mitchell was gone. You know what I mean? You match up well with the Spurs. You could find yourself staring down any team in the Western Conference. And, you know, I'm not saying that you got to rely on injuries because you have to add talent. Yeah. But at the same time, like, it's as simple as De'Aaron Fox had a bad series. Keldon Johnson couldn't make no jumpers. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people just don't play well.
And then just in the interest of fairness, it's like Cat had 2 games in foul trouble. The refs was on the Spurs side. Like Jalen Brunson had 3 bad games before he kind of got it together. Mikal Bridges had 1 good game. OG had 2 good games. Like the Knicks couldn't have played any worse, and they still beat the Spurs. So like to me, the tiers are a little more stacked than people really realize. I think people mistake success for you being tiers and levels above another team. Success can be for a number of factors. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, the Pelicans won 49 games, but they wasn't in OKC's tier necessarily. And then Zion didn't play. So if Zion played, who knows what happens in that situation? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think any team that acquires talent has a puncher's chance. Like, truthfully, you just have to be garbage. If Luka played, man, I don't know what happened with OKC. Luka was busting ass.
Luka is one of the, to me, and I know people feel how they feel about Luka because of the defensive stuff, but Luka is so great typically come postseason time, bro. That's like, if you got players with those kinds of, like, your team gotta be so good to cancel out what he does, like how he compromises your defense. If Luka just gonna say, I got a series where I'm on, dog, you gotta have like a player, like you gotta be able to do basically what Jalen Brunson was willing to do in this series, to where like, okay, everybody else struggling, I'm gonna go get 38. Everybody's struggling, I got 45 for you, because Luka is capable of being like, say, dog, tonight is 50 and 15 for you. Like that kind of guy.
No one can stop great scores or great players. All you can do is try to stop everybody else or hope they stop themselves. Like, you gotta hope that Wemby misses free throws. You gotta hope that Jalen Brunson plays a little too much hero ball. You gotta hope when Wemby throws the ball off Castle's back, he turns it over. You gotta, like, it's so many scenarios where guys so many scenarios where guys just have to fuck over themselves, and you just choke. but great
Yeah.
players dominate. Like it's no stopping them. That's why I don't like. I care about defense in the regular season, but in the playoffs, nobody's stopping Luka Doncic. No one's stopping Anthony Edwards. No one's stopping Zion. What they gonna say? Well, it's different in the playoffs. What they gonna do different? They let me guess. They're gonna pack the paint. They do it now. They do it in the regular season. He ain't gonna get no calls. He don't get the calls now. So what you think gonna happen different?
I think you need players that can guard, because you can't be like, for example, James Harden got destroyed out there. So you can't be I can't guard nobody because you're gonna get picked on. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll play you off the court.
I think James kind of just sucked.
Well, like, James,
I think honestly,
James had a terrible postseason.
I think James Harden just not a postseason player. Like I think he had like one. I think James Harden had 2 good games the entire postseason. Yeah, like he was just awful, and he's also 37 years old. Like so, I mean, and I wouldn't put this James Harden in the conversation with like the Lukas and the Zions and them guys right now, because he just so far over the hill right now that he's like, it's just like no.
Yeah, and James gonna be good in the regular season because he just knows how to play. You know what I mean? They'll get to the playoffs and all of that too. But like, you gotta be able to guard, but at the same time, it's just kind of like when Brunson decided. You know what I mean? Like Castle's a great defender. Dylan Harper. Good defense, like good to great defender, right?
Right. Devin
Vassell played great defense on Shea at times. It don't fucking matter, dog. Shea, people say what they want about Shea. Shea had 35 in the game 7 and had multiple games where he was just cooking and killing.
And the crazy thing is, like in the Lakers series, he didn't play because people was like crediting it to the Spurs. It's like he didn't play good versus the Lakers neither. Yeah. He just had a down postseason, but he's still. His down is different than like a trash motherfucker.
His down still 28 or whatever.
Yeah, like his down still incredible. Like I just think, bro, everybody got a puncher's chance now. It's all about matchups.
Let me ask you this, and we could like, because my number one get is Khalil Ware to me. Still, like, do you have a number one like on your wish list? What's your top 5 on your wish list? Let's go with 5. I'll give you 5. Or you don't even care. It's just
I don't know if I have one. I think Khalil Ware would probably be up there. Like he'd probably be top 2, just because I'm like, I'm not done once I get him. Of course, like I still got shit to do. I think
I like it because it don't, like you say, not only are you not done, it don't really hinder much. To be honest, like
on the rookie sale deal, it don't stop you from doing. It don't stop you from doing nothing. Yeah, like to me, I have moves, but not players. My number one move, top 2 moves, I gotta get rid of Herb and DeJounte.
Okay,
like it's imperative that I move off of Herb specifically, a little more than DeJounte, but those 2 guys gotta go.
Do you think? Let me ask you this. Do you think the front office offseason, again, because I don't think the priority is just to get back into the draft. Do you think their priority is, like, I understand shaping the roster, but it's like shaping the roster because we have to get off of said players, or is more like I'm trying to see what I could target? Like, do you think if it came down to it, because I don't believe in just making moves to make them. For the sake you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you think they're like, if they had to somewhat run it back, that they're comfortable doing that, or you just think there's too many options for them to run it back?
I think if they ran it back, it would be because they just wasn't able to make nothing happen. I don't think they want to run it back at all. I think they going into this offseason like, we need changes. Yeah, like we need shit gotta change like around this bitch, because realistically they only got a couple players that they brought in. I think for the most part, it's crazy. For the most part, the problematic players, you inherited them.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? The two most problematic players contractually, you inherited them. So,
True.
like,
I don't think, also to a degree, I don't think that they feel like the players that they brought in won't be able to contribute to a degree, because the only one you're really questioning is Jordan Poole, and realistically he got benched anyway, so it's not like he just had not saying that he played well, but it was just such a unique situation for JP last year to where it's just kind of like, all right, I don't think the players that they brought in are kind of the issue. The only player that really moved off of was CJ, which you kind of had to, and Jose realistically.
I think if they could upgrade Poole, maybe they would, but I don't think they probably feel like Poole didn't get a fair evaluation also. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because Poole is a Weaver guy. They say they still believe in his talent. Excuse me, but what they gonna say? Yeah, we think he sucked. We was wrong. They're not gonna say that.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, I think they looking to make some changes, bro. And I think they probably believe that Fears is close enough to ready to where losing a DeJounte wouldn't hurt you, but you gotta replace talent with talent though. Like, you gotta still bring in talent, and they're gonna have to trim some fat around the roster, because another thing too is they don't have enough players falling off the books next year to where it's like we could consistently even draft, because DeJounte's still on the book next year, Herb on the books next year, maybe what's his name, Hawkins and Poole fall off the books. But if you sign a free agent, the free agent probably gonna be on the books for next year potentially. So or if you draft a guy this year, he definitely on the books next year. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have enough players that's like falling off for them to like even draft and build out the team the way I think they would necessarily want to. And what you don't want to do is be in a Orlando situation. Ironically, I'm doing a show on that later today. You don't want to be in an Atlanta situation where you're close to being a first apron team. You gotta like, I like Jalen Suggs, but Jalen Suggs has probably worked more to the Magic than he would be around the NBA. Yeah, you got Paolo on the max, you got Franz on the max, you got Wendell got the most money he could get on that extension. You know what I'm saying? And Anthony Black is a restricted free agent. Gonna want at least 20. He gonna want at least close to what Suggs got, even though he hasn't had a great career.
He gonna have to perform to get that 30.
I think he gonna want at least 20. He might top out at about 18, 15. And last year he had some spurts, but to me, you want to talk about guys that I think I would target, like for real.
I talked about Anthony Black. I would absolutely kick the tires on Anthony Black.
Anthony Black to me is a guy that I think got a ton of potential, just not at point guard.
I would have him play next to next to Fierce, and he would. You know what he remind me of? He reminds me of a better Dyson, because
I was about to say he remind me of a better Najee, but good. I can see same philosophy though. Swiss Army knife type guard.
Yeah.
Can attack at the defense, straight at the point of attack, defender, can dunk. I mean, not just dunk, but explosive athlete, can fill the bucket up. And he got upside.
And he had, he got the relationship with Sham Guy, was coming along, you know what I mean? And
got the relationship with Mosley too, like Mosley. I think that's a guy. To me, that's the team I would be really like dealing with right now.
Orlando. I think I told you one of my ideal deals that they could, because I think they need a point guard too. I would try to do DeJounte for Carter and Anthony Black.
Yeah, that's something I presented today as well. Like DeJounte for Wendell, and I would even take Isaac off your hands. I'll pay the $8 million and tell him go home. And for DeJounte and Hawkins, because it would save them. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, even if I don't tell him go home, if I have a deal to possibly move on from Herb and I can restructure and on the roster, then
because if I was like, all right, well, he's an expiring now. Even if I kept him, if I had a deal to like kind of move on from Herb
Yeah.
And the thing with the Pelicans, again, that's what I say the Pelicans not in a bad spot. They just got too many players that's not necessarily useful for what you're trying to accomplish in this current iteration. It's like if you did that, Wendell, what's his name? Black, Isaac for DeJounte and Hawkins, you still not in the tax after you cut Herb. And now you really don't got that many spots to fill. You got to just now you can go get all your money to Colin Gillespie if you wanted to. Like Colin, all we need is shooting. We got our point guard. Maybe we sign a vet backup point guard. Fuck it. Why not? The ringing, yeah, they kind of look alike. Shout out to Ed, says Black and PV brothers with the big afros.
Yeah,
and you know what's funny about that? Again, why I think I don't know how the front office feels about Anthony Black, but Anthony Black, another guy, played with Brazil, played with A-Cuff. So I'm sure they've seen him. You know what I'm saying? And last year, man, dude, wasn't this year, this past year, dude,
Anthony Black was showing. Anthony Black, when Jalen Suggs went down and Anthony Black was starting, like Orlando, again, when Paolo went out for a while and Jalen Suggs, he played too, but in some of those stretches, they were starting. It was like Anthony Black, Franz, Bane, Carter. Suggs, Black, Bane, Carter. And
sometimes it was like Jamal Kane.
Yeah, it depends. They had a nice little, again, bro, the offense was clicking. And again, I don't think you're looking at Anthony Black as like a 35-minute player or something like that. But you know, potential upside young player. I think it will work. I know defensively you'll get significantly better. You don't put that pressure on Jeremiah Fierce to have to guard, you know, top point guards and stuff like that.
I think you could. I think that move alone puts you at a roster that's about 10 players deep. Because like even if you like, well, I'll be looking to upgrade Wendell. It's like, yeah, okay, his contract's only 2 years because he got that final third year team option. I'm not a big fan of Wendell, but he's he can start in the NBA. Like
I'm still talking in Khalil. I'm still
it's like, you know, you can still, it wouldn't prohibit you from doing anything. And again, if you're the Pelicans, you always need mid-level salary. Like his contract is just mid-level enough, and it'll be expiring soon the way you can move it. It's them $30 million motherfuckers. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So do I think Anthony Black can replace her?
I know you think so.
Yeah. I mean, because it's like, look. Like, and shout out to the homie Dakari. I know, because I'm not saying this toward him. I'm just saying this like because I know how people feel about Herb's defense. That shit is a thing of the past. It's like that shit over. And even back then, it's like when them guys show up, when Devin Booker and them dudes show up, it ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do. I think the best version of both of those players, Anthony Black, far surpasses Herb.
The best version. If Anthony Black turns into the best version of himself, that's
if he's the guy who was last year.
Yeah,
he's like,
I think he was a really good player.
Excuse me. Yeah, and it's like,
he's young. I think he's like 20, 22, 21,
like 22, 23. And again, the league is just moving away from them. All I do is defend guys. Like,
Lou Dort is probably the last one fighting.
Last of the dying breed. Yeah, and that's because that's because I want to ring. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And Lou Dort at times, Lou Dort got a couple times in his career, he averaged 17, though. Like, at least it was years ago, but he had, before OKC got all of the offense that they have now, when they used to rely on Dort to go get some buckets, like he used to be able to score a little bit. Like, they asking him to do a little bit now.
You know what? I think PV is related to Anthony Black. They like stepbrothers. They like stepbrothers.
Oh, they really?
Wait, yeah. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me see.
Man, listen.
Let's all keep it in the family.
Bring Anthony Black in. Also, I'm glad you mentioned PV. We don't know what kind of step PV gonna take.
That's another thing, bro. And you got McGowans.
Bryce still today. You know. was doing a really good job of filling in for those Herb minutes, in my opinion. I was watching
Michael Peavy and stepbrother. So man, shout out to that family. It's got two brothers in the NBA. That's what's up, man.
And what you call it? His younger brother's a star.
Is he?
Anthony Black,
your brother? Okay.
Coming down the line, bro. Little dude.
Keep that money in the family.
He's supposed to be one. I think they just announced today that ESPN signed him as one of their athletes or something like that.
Oh, he's the number 2 high school recruit.
Yeah,
I think I saw
first
that.
two
Congratulations.
First time ESPN signed anybody in high school.
Shout out to the young lady as well. I think she was number 1 female high school recruit. Shout out to both of them, man. That's amazing. That's up. Get that money, man.
Absolutely. While you can.
I'm telling you, bro. Khalil and PV will be 2 dudes at the top of my list, but the
Khalil
guy
in Black, you mean?
I'm sorry, Black. My bad. I said PV. They got my light-skinned dudes with afros mixed up.
Man,
Khalil and Black would be 2 dudes with tremendous upside, rookie scale deals. Of course, you got to pay Black sooner, but I don't think he really crosses like 20. But man, I'm getting Herb and DeJounte the fuck
Black,
out of here.
Fierce, Trey Z, Khalil.
That's a hell of a team. It's a young team.
What happened to Queen? What happened to Queen?
Well, nah,
you bring him on the bench. He ain't starting.
Because think of the second unit, like hypothetically, right? Let's say your first.
I love him as a second unit guy.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, let's say your first unit, hypothetically, right? Let's say if you even start in Black, because you might not even start Black, but let's say it's Fierce, Trey, Z, Carter, and somebody, right? Somebody probably can shoot. That's for conversation's sake. Let's just say it's Bryce McConnell, just for conversation's sake. Second unit, Black, Bay, Queen, Eve, potentially, and
who's technically still on your roster right now.
Yeah, who's technically still on your roster, and maybe Micah Peavy. That's a strong 10-man unit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a very solid, because we're in the depth era. We're not really in the superstar grab my cape era no more. We're in the depth era. And then a bunch of people making small enough contracts to where you could, you know,
move on. You could be flexible.
Yeah, you can be flexible. You're not stuck with some of these dudes that give you fucking nothing.
Is Orlando would Orlando be one of your top trade destinations?
Absolutely. For what they need, and their cap situation is bad. Like they bad.
You know who they need, to be honest? Like they need DeJounte, don't get me wrong, but you know who they need? They need a Poole.
This is why I don't think they need Poole. I'll tell you why. Because even if Poole, because for one, they don't have a point guard outside of Jace Richardson. Like they don't have no point guard. That's what Anthony Black kind of hurts, not being a point guard.
Right.
But I really don't know what Poole does for them, because like he can play point, like, but still it's like we need a point guard. And even if Poole money fell off the books, we still in like such a fucked up like financial
you think the money is bad enough to where that money coming off don't even matter?
Oh, they money bad, dog. But
is
they
money
bad, dog. Because Jalen Suggs got like 4 years left. Franz,
I know Bane just got his deal.
I ain't even thinking about Bane, but Bane just got his deal. Wendell got multiple years left. Then let's say you draft the motherfucker. You got to pay him. Like they situation is bad. Like they situation is so bad. When if they cut Isaac, it's still gonna be bad.
It's
like
still in the cap.
They about like $2-3 million away from the second apron.
Ooh.
Like they are.
I was thinking. That's why I was thinking. That's why I was thinking Poole, because you get the $34 million expiring, and you get some, potential offense and stuff like that too.
See, the reason
they struggle scoring.
But the reason I say DeJounte over Poole is because they still not gonna be able to sign free agents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is their roster as it currently stands. Franz, Paolo, Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs, Wendell. These are dudes like multiple years. You could cut Jonathan Isaac, right? That'll save you maybe about $6 million. Anthony Black is at 10 million. Goga, I think Goga expired. Let's say you cut Goga, or let's say you let Goga fall off, right? That'll say you about 7,600. I mean 7.6 million. But right now, they're $16 million into the tax, like today. Right? Their luxury, what they're paying in luxury taxes right now is 29 million.
Ooh.
So
they will start repeat luxury next year too, don't they?
Yes. And bro, they're only $3.3 million away from the second apron. So they can really sign right now is vet men's. They don't even they got the taxpayer. This is the crazy part. They can't even use this right now. Like if they cut,
because you got the limitations.
Let's say you cut Isaac, right? Let's say you cut Isaac, and you like, I cut Isaac. I paid $8 million. I got 6.5 left. The taxpayer MLE is about $6 million. So once you pay that, you right back and who the fuck you about to get for $6 million? That's why it's like
Sadiq Bey, I guess.
Yeah, I bet you gonna trade them into the MLE. That's why I think they stuck with that team unless somebody really wanted Jalen Suggs. I think they stuck with that team. And if
you think they'd be willing to do? Ooh, that had to be a crazy deal. You think they'd be? No, they can't do it. Never mind.
They're not trading Paulo Franz, I don't think.
No. I wasn't about to say that. Like, do you think the Spurs to get off of De'Aaron Fox?
Like you read this. I think they rather Suggs than Fox today. Because Jalen Suggs, his contract also is decreasing. It go to like 26 million once the cap start going up. But it's like for the next, because they window probably like in like 2-3 years to where you really starting to push it before motherfuckers start getting older, and Sweeney could suck. Like Sweeney could be a bad coach, so you never know. But but they need a point guard bad. Like they need a point guard.
Not desperately. The $60 million dude, though.
Not the $60 million, but you could get one for 30, and a team. That's another thing. A team got to be willing to take back some of these contracts, and they got to be willing to pay Anthony Black, because you're not gonna trade for Anthony Black knowing you got to pay him. So it's a lot. That's, to me, I'm circling them motherfuckers like a shark because y'all in bad shape.
I got them. Because I think, I mentioned them when we first hired Mosley. I was like, I think Orlando was somebody that we could, like, you could do. We hadn't looked at the money on that, but for me, I got Orlando, Miami, because you just gotta, like, I think Miami's in such a desperate situation for any kind of relevance that I think, again, Hero's about to be on the expiring or whatever, and maybe they don't. You know what I mean? Wiggins damn near on the expiring. Like they got some true decisions to where you could improve your roster. And again, they got Ware, and I want him. But the only
reason I think it works for Orlando, like if Orlando needed a wing, I'd be like, it don't really work. But the fact that they need a point guard,
and I can't think of the other teams that need point guards. Like I think Minnesota need a point guard. That don't necessarily mean, because their situation is different, they're not going to target DeJounte first. You know what I mean? Houston need a point guard. Technically, you got Fred already on the roster, and that also don't mean that they're gonna target a DeJounte first. I think, like you said when you mentioned Orlando, the way Orlando's roster is constructed, they is not similar to ours, but it's kind of like how. When you took DeJounte, you saw how DeJounte fit into our roster with Brandon and Z and Trey and Herb and all of that. You kind of saw it. It's similar to them with Orlando.
I think it's similar to us too. Is that you got, and I like Paolo a lot, but you got a bunch of non-superstars on near max contracts. Like so, Poole, for as awesome as he was getting that ring, you paying $34 million to Poole. Poole is a 6 man right now, probably almost at best like 6 man of the year candidate. Yeah, you got Herb that you about to be paying $20-something million to. Herb ain't been all defense in like 2 years, and he's a nothing on offense. DeJounte ain't played in 2 years, and you paying him $30 million. it's like when you start giving them non-needle movers, them big contracts, and I'm not saying that with them, but not Franz making $37 million, Franz playing 40 fucking games, Paolo playing 40 fucking games. It was like, oh no. Yeah. Like, this is a Brandon Zion type issue. It's like these niggas gotta stay healthy, and we gotta trim some of the fat here. Like, dog, they right by the second apron, and they ain't never went to the. They by the second apron, they never won a series.
Yeah, well, again, we're gonna see what's going on with that again, because people gonna be like, that's the reason Mosley got let go. Sometimes it's time to move on. We'll see what happens when they get Sweeney, but this ain't an Orlando show. This a Pels show. Yeah. We'll get to some of the star questions, and I'll get you out of here, bro.
For sure.
Let's see. Shout out to Loon, man. Appreciate y'all. And if y'all ain't hit that like button already, hit the like button, subscribe. Absolutely. Facts, you have to make sure a guy is available when you make a trade. You don't want to trade for a guy and that guy isn't available. He's talking about the draft, trading into into the first round and stuff. You don't want to try and make a deal and like let's say they make a trade to get to 8 with Atlanta, you give up something, and then you made that trade thinking a Dumars was gonna be there, and then he
drafted at 7th.
He go fucking 5 or something like that. You know what I mean? So you gotta have a couple people that you like in that situation. Whoa, appreciate you, bro, stepping in all the time. They have a legit chance to get 2 top 4 picks next year with the lottery odds. I'm not gambling that away. I'm kind of starting to feel the same about the pick to a degree. Next year's pick, I don't think the only reason I think that we won't have the 2 lottery picks.
We're not gonna be bad.
I don't think we're gonna be that bad. I think we make the play in just because I think there'll be other teams trying to figure out that tank situation, and we all season gonna be pushing to try and win. So unless we deal with like major injuries or something like that, I think we're gonna be in the play in at the least.
I'm kind of taking this with a grain of salt as well, unless it was a situation where you ended up 10th and maybe you lose the playing game or something like that. But I don't think the Pelicans, are going to be like bad next season.
Yeah, and as the Bucks, you might hold on to that pick just to see how the season start going, depending on what the Bucks look like.
Might as well.
Yeah,
the pick can only get better at this point.
I agree. Favorite Pels prospect, Jaden Quanitz, 255, 18 years old, locking up Mara Johnson, Lindenberg, etc. I think he has some good defensive numbers, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it, I guess. But again, we don't have no pick right now, so I don't think nothing matters. Let's see. Free agency, draft, then summer league. The season never stops. I love it.
Never stops, bro.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I was about to say, that's the one thing that I think the NBA have on the NFL. It's like NBA news is always cycling.
Yeah. And they play multiple times a week. So, like,
Yeah, you can have multiple, like they have multiple games, like you said, multiple times a week. Your playoffs run into the summer. Then we talking draft. Then right after draft, you got summer, and then you still got free agency. And then they did the thing about their summer league, because it's in Vegas, they stars pop up at their summer league and stuff like that too. Like,
what's up? Like,
Let me
I'll say this, bro. As independent content creators, it's very difficult to cover the NBA consistently. I ain't saying every once in a while you do it, but like to do it consistently, like, and be, boots on the ground with the shit, it's difficult because it never stops.
Absolutely.
That's why you can't chase every rumor you hear.
Nah. Off topic a little bit, but any footage of DQ, there's more for any footage of DQ in the offseason workouts.
Shout out to my dog Rob. I no, but just because you don't see it don't mean it's not happening. I'll say that, but I ain't seen no footage. But just because you don't see it don't mean it's not happening. Because shit, we ain't seen Zion for years.
Absolutely. Are y'all cool with us trying to get back into the draft, or should we trade for a big name?
What would be your preference? I'm very interested in that. Like, would you rather trade for the name?
Trade for the name.
What if it's a mediocre name? What if it's like Khalil Webb versus a Dumars? Which one you going with?
I'm taking all day. I'm always going with the guy I've seen perform in the league versus the guy, I have no clue of what he's gonna do. Like I said, unless you're talking about Wemby types, Wemby, LeBron's, those kinds of players. Other than that, I'm 100% going with the guy that I've seen have impact in the league.
I think I agree with that as well.
Because
like, no, you could be trash.
Yeah, that's there's no evidence you can hoop yet. Like,
and that's really with anybody. It's like, until I see you play, like, boy, you could be trash. Like,
even when you and that's the thing too, even when you come out, you could start out hot. You could have a first Ben Simmons literally was like all NBA, was great. And that's not to say that I wouldn't have took Ben Simmons, but I'm just saying like Ben Simmons was elite and then he wasn't. So I
get your point. Like, what's the dude? Michael Carter Williams won Rookie of the Year. Tariq Evans Rookie of the Year, and it's like that shit ain't panning out.
No, bro, no. So like, if you offering me hypothetically, if somebody was like, listen, you could have Darius Acuff or Darius Garland, I'm taking Darius Garland.
I might roll the dice on Acuff in that one. Like, just because
of the money. Take the money out of it.
Darius Garland never healthy. You want to talk about a fragile man? Like, God damn.
Well, I guess that's because he never healthy, and you assume.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Like, if I knew, if all things were equal, then I'm saying, all right, this guy's a multiple-time All-Star. I'm gonna go with the All-Star. But it's like, God damn, you always hurt.
I saw a situational. I guess it depends.
Yeah, situation.
What was up, Cullen? What if Nola hops in the trade with Miami and the Bucks? I feel like not that they have to, but if you have some, I'll say this because I'm a fan of Khalil Ware. That's not saying that they have Khalil Ware that high on their list. They might have something else in mind. But if you have anybody on those teams that you feel can benefit you, I don't think either team has players that they absolutely have to have. The only player that's like a must is Giannis in Miami. Other than that, I think any player going to Miami other than Giannis or going to Milwaukee could be had.
I think if it depends. Like, I think if Milwaukee, again, if the tea leaves are true and they not like they don't really want Khalil Ware like that, they better Miami just need to take a protected first for Khalil Ware, send that first to Milwaukee and get the fuck on. I wouldn't even to me, the price of the brick that went down. I'm not giving you the Bucks first because now you lost any leverage you might have had in that situation if you Miami. Because I'm not giving you the Bucks first.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Would you do trade for Hero and Ware?
If no, because I gotta pay Hero. If Hero was healthy and on the same contract as Trey, I probably would do it.
How much would you be willing if Hero? What kind of extension would you give Hero and compared to Trey? Because Hero is the better player than Trey, in my opinion.
I think shit. He's been an All-Star. I think you got to give him that at least recently. I definitely would say he's the better player. Not much. I ain't gonna lie. I don't believe in that kind of player. I got you. Yeah, this the last two postseasons, this made me believe in those type of players just less. I just ain't gonna lie. I don't like them small guards that just score, and it's just too easy to phase them out. Like I
feel that.
Yeah.
Last one, man. Appreciate everybody. Hit that like button. Hey, Bizzle. Do you guys think Trey has the toughness and defensive abilities Joe and Troy are looking for? Something just seems off to me on their confidence in Trey, in my opinion. What you think of that?
I don't know that they have confidence in Trey or don't, to be honest, H. Bizzle. I don't think them having a high price point necessarily means that they have confidence in Trey. I just think they got so many bidders that this is what the market is dictating. I do think Trey's and his toughness on the court has to improve significantly. I think that is something. If they had to have a knock on anything with him, I think that would be it. Needs to gain weight, needs to rebound better. Definitely got some things he can improve on. Toughness and rebounding comes in spurts. It's not consistent enough. But the fucked up part is, and this way it's fucked up, is like, say that about a lot of players on the team. And also I can say there has to be a happy medium between toughness and talent. Mm-hmm. Because I don't care how tough you are if you're not talented.
Yes.
You're gonna be the most gangsterest nigga on the bench. Like, like this nigga a thug, sit over there. But but
like James Johnson.
Yeah, like James Johnson. I can whoop everybody ass in here. Bet. Sit over there. You're never gonna get a chance to. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? So I think if they was like, he might not be tough, he's talented, I think they'll go with the talent, honestly.
I agree. For me, at the end of the day, I think Trey is a 20-point per game scorer and still has some potential upside. I think they want to at least give it an opportunity to see what he looks like with Mosley, if Mosley can unlock some of that defensive ability. And again, in order for them to move off him, you're going to have to pay the cost, which most teams would do anyway. Like, I think Joe Dumars, more than anything, I think Joe Dumars is trying to fight the negative stigma of people rob the Pelicans, you know, the natural trade issues that they have. You know, they don't typically win deals, and especially how a lot of people criticize the Derek Queen trade. I think they're trying to shake back from that. You just got terrible news? Uh-oh.
Not terrible news, but not unterrible news. I think you need to go look at the Pelicans' last post. The last photo they posted, and tell me what you noticed. I'm gonna say that to the like, because I'm not even gonna say my thoughts out loud, but look at the last post and tell me what you notice when you examine the photo.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. So I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it on the stage.
No. You put it up there.
I did.
I don't have no comment because I don't want.
My bad. No, don't comment. Don't comment.
I'm just not gonna comment.
Don't comment. Oh, that's their rising. That's they they all NBA stuff.
Yeah, they got.
Man, Fizz cut the hair.
Nah, he got braids. I think he got like he got braids. I can see the part down the middle.
All right, I'm about to say something. Man, look at my dog. It looked like Fizz been working out heavy.
Yeah,
that's what I noticed. That boy looked like he done put on some muscle. Shout out to him, man. You heard me doing this thing. Man. So, you know, bro, that's what the off season is for. So appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Pels in the blender for sure. Chaz, man, tell everybody where they can find you.
Yo, man, no one Pelicans critic, big cheddar out the belly. You know what I'm saying? CHEDDACHAZ. You can find me on No Picks, aka In Your League. You got an episode dropping today. I'm gonna try to film talking about the Orlando Magic and some of the trade paths that the Pelicans could have. But yeah, man, we're gonna be doing, I think, all off season. Hopefully something happens soon that we got to talk about. That's a very disheartening photo that they just posted. And yeah, man, y'all tap in, follow me Instagram, follow me Twitter. We making noise, man. Best Pelicans podcast out there. And make sure y'all subscribe to this channel for real. And let's run these numbers up and hit that like button and hype button.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate y'all again, man. I'm A Davis, Pels in the Blender. Y'all can catch me on X, just A Davis. But Pels in the Blender, man, we out. Y'all be safe. Peace.